Remember that really, really hard Champions League group I told you about yesterday? Well, today we're going to play some more games in that, plus facing some unbeaten league opposition as well. This is already one of those early season make or break episodes where we find out whether we're actually going to be any good this year. Hello and welcome to part 13 of my Football Manager 2018 beta save with Monaco. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Tottenham in the Champions League and then at home against Lyon in the League. I need to show you both of the league situations, but before I do that, even though you can see that one on the screen, let's pretend it's not there. Since you were last with me, everything's been going really rather well. It's a sea of green, apart from when we had to go away to Real Madrid in the Champions League. But, you know, we were away against Real Madrid in the Champions League. And I think we can all acknowledge this season, getting out of our Champions League group is going to be quite the achievement if we manage to pull it off. Tottenham are unbeaten and top of the group, and we go away to them today. Real Madrid playing Roma at home. We could find ourselves at the halfway point of the group, 6 points away from qualification. Which I mean, that 3 points, sorry, that's a little bit easier. 6 points away from Tottenham, 3 points away from Real Madrid. Either way, it's going to be a little bit tough, and we're going to have to beat both Tottenham and Real Madrid at home if we don't manage to get a result out of Spurs today. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Likewise, in the league, we've had an incredible start. We're unbeaten, but so are Paris Saint-Germain and Lyon. The three of us have just charged ahead at the top of the league, leaving an 8-point gap behind Lyon down to Dijon already after just 9 games. I mean, that is a ridiculous gap. And to think the team in 4th place have almost lost as many games as they've won, I mean, that shows the rest of the league pretty pathetic. We should beat all of these teams every time we play them. Our chances of winning the league or not are purely going to come down to how we perform against Lyon and Paris Saint-Germain, as long as the three of us continue to beat everybody else. So that's going to be a big test today, and our first big league test of the season, where we could almost already find ourselves not out of the title picture, but with it being a much more difficult job to try and win the league. But first, we've got to deal with Tottenham, and this is the team we're putting out there to deal with Tottenham. So I've got Subasic in goal, back four of Congolo, Jemison, Manolas and Sidibe, with Facer behind Fabinho and Moutinho in midfield, and Mesut Ozil in behind Belotti and Falcao up front. I said on the last episode, I think, this is my first choice 11 at the moment. When it's available, and certainly in big games, this is the team that I'll be playing. It wasn't enough to take on Real Madrid. We didn't really even look threatening in that game. 2-0 flattered us a little bit. I'm hoping it might be good enough against Tottenham, because if it's not, we're going to have a little bit of a problem. They've invested in a few defenders, it seems, since the start of the game. So we need to be a little bit alive to that. Although, you know, they're playing 3 at the back with 2 really expensive fancy defenders, and they're already top of the group that contains Real Madrid. So I don't hold out much hope for managing to grab a result out of this one. We were completely outclassed by Madrid, and Spurs have already beaten them. So I think we are very much the third best team in this group, as you would expect. A top Spanish team, a top English team, and a top French team. You're always going to say the French team are the third best team, aren't you? Even if it was Paris Saint-Germain in our place. Are they really better than Tottenham and Real Madrid? I'm not so sure they are. And I think it's, like I say, it will be a massive achievement if we manage to get out of the group. Otherwise, we just need to make sure we finish above Roma, and then we can go and win the Europa League. And I hope I don't get fired for not making it out of the group. Makes it all the more important that we don't then mess up against Lyon as well, because we can't have 2 seasons of not winning a single trophy, because then surely I'll get fired at that point. Not that I'm necessarily planning on having a 3rd season at this point, although the temptation is there. If we miss out by just a little bit, I think I might be tempted just to... I can't have 2 failed saves in a row, and Arsenal was a disaster. Oh, we've just equalised. Jemison from a corner. No, it wasn't from a corner, was it? It was from a free kick. But we are quickly becoming set-piece specialists. A few of you did comment on yesterday's video that set pieces aren't necessarily overpowered since the latest update. But I have a team that's very much built around... like completely by accident, but a team that should be good at set pieces. I've got 2 big dominant centre-backs who are good in the air. I've got Falcao, and I've got Moutinho and Tielemans able to deliver the free kicks. and corners. So we're going to be good at set pieces. So it's not that they're overpowered for everybody. It's that now that they work, we're going to score a higher proportion of set pieces than other teams might, because we should do, because we've got players who are better in the air and we've got some beautiful set piece takers. So they're beautiful at taking them. I mean, no comments on what they look like as men. I don't actually remember. Have I ever even seen a picture of Moutinho? I don't think he has his picture in the game. I'm sure he's a very handsome man, though. I don't want to diss him. Although if he's about to get himself sent off, he's ugly as sin. There you go. Look, you mentioned that you don't know if a man's pretty or not, and he gets himself sent off in protest. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? We actually looked competitive against Spurs in that first half, certainly towards the end of it. And now here we are, right at the start of the second half. Our most experienced player has gone and got himself sent off because I don't think he's pretty. I think I'm going to take off Falcao, which seems mad. But I need to get Tielemans on to solidify the midfield again. Don't want to take off Ozil. I don't know whether to take off Falcao or Belotti. But Falcao's had the worst game today, so he gets to come off. Tielemans is going to drop into the midfield just there. Belotti, I'm not going to leave him as a complete forward. I'm going to give him his preferred advanced forward. And then we'll perhaps make Ozil, put him on support. Not as a playmaker, though, because we don't want two playmakers. Perhaps do that. Although there's every chance that Belotti's going to be really, really isolated now. But I'm trying to be a little bit sensible. I want to win the game, obviously. But not losing it would be fine. And we're not losing at the moment. So going away, these away games against the likes of Tottenham and Real Madrid, any sensible manager, their game plan would be draw those ones and then beat them at home. We've already lost to Real Madrid, so that's why a win would be really helpful when it comes to qualifying from the group. But a draw when we've got half the game down to 10 men, that's something that's worth celebrating. Hence taking off our top scorer. Because I think Belotti's maybe a little bit more suited to being up front on his own, a little bit more mobile. Maybe. I could be talking absolute poppycock there. Right. Ozil's coming off. Lamar's coming on. We'll just leave him doing what Ozil was doing. I'm a little bit tempted to stick him out wide and maybe stick someone else out wide on the other side and go to a 4-4-1. But that might be silly. We just scored from a set piece again, and this time it's Tielemans converting it. But that was a perfect example of just how good Manolas is in the air. The free kick comes in from Lamar. It's a beautiful free kick, but look at that for a header from Manolas. I think that's how you say his name. It might not be. But he nods it down beautifully for Tielemans. And there you go. 2 goals. Again, they're both from free kicks, and completely ridiculously, I don't know what's going on in the Real Madrid-Roma game, but as of right now, we're top of our group. I don't understand. Are Real Madrid and Roma not playing today? They're not playing today, unless that's not live update. Why wouldn't they be playing at the same time on the same day as us? That's not how the Champions League works, is it? Tielemans is through, squares it beautifully. I don't even know what he was thinking. I was ready to scream at him for not having a shot there, but plays it beautifully into the path of Belotti. And in completely unlikely circumstances, we find ourselves 3-1 up, and Tielemans is really starting to put a claim on for replacing Moutinho in our starting 11, in our best 11. I do need to acknowledge the fact that the clearance, that it was actually intercepted by a Spurs defender who cleared it into Belotti's face. So let's not give Tielemans too much credit for the pass, but I'm still going to give him a lot of credit for the pass because it was beautiful. Right, Fabinho, not having the best of games, but I have nobody who can come on for him. What I do have is Toure who can come on for Congolo, and then just swap those two over, get Sidibe over to the left. If I can actually get a hold of Toure and move him, there we go. And just do that for the last 10 minutes. I feel like we're completely mugging Spurs here. We need to have a little look at the clear-cut chance counter just to check the maths of the situation, check if legally we are mugging them. But it just feels really against the run of play. There's not been a clear-cut chance for either team, in fact. But they are ahead for half chances, so it's a semi-mugging. Oh, Fabinho intercepts brilliantly, finds Belotti. Have we got men in space? We have Tielemans is there, finds Sidibe. Can he get a cross in? Tucks it back to Fabinho, started the whole move, and now we are under a little bit of pressure because everyone was forward, fullbacks forward on both sides. Toure can't get the tackle in, and I mean, that was just stupid. We are so stupid. Why did we only leave 2 men back with 2 minutes to go? Because I told him to, because that's what the tactic says. But still, I'm not going to learn from it. And I know you're going to destroy me in the comments if we now concede a third. You'll probably destroy me for conceding that one, because it was absolutely, without question, my fault. But I was far more excited at the fact that we had the attack than it leading to us conceding. I would much rather we're pushing for a fourth than trying to stop them scoring a third. It's just the way I'm always going to do things. Right. They're going to do it to us again. They're not. The final whistle blows. We have gone to Tottenham and beaten them with 10 men. Every time this camera's on, Tielemans emerges as a superstar, and I'm still not starting him. I think sooner or later we're going to have to start Tielemans for a game. But let's have a look at this Champions League group. How do we look at the group? There we go. As of right now at the halfway point, I mean, of the scenarios we discussed pre-match, that was not one of them. But we find ourselves top of the group. Why was it at 6 o'clock kickoff? That's weird. Do Tottenham usually play at 6 o'clock? Is it? Oh, it's because Arsenal are playing at 8 o'clock. Still a bit weird. I mean, that just means the Tottenham fans are going home as the Arsenal fans are arriving. But I guess that's why it happened. You'd think that... Who cares? Real Madrid will hopefully now go and draw with Roma. Or even if they win. Oh, that's just exciting. Right. Let's go and play Lyon and beat them as well. In one of the saddest things that's ever happened in a game of Football Manager, the game crashed as I pressed the stop record button. Obviously, it hadn't saved. I'm not going to play the game. Well, I obviously have to play the game again. I'm not going to show it to you. I'm going to let you keep the memory of that first game fresh in your minds, because it's just not going to. We're not going to go and beat them twice. I'll tell you the result in a minute, and I guarantee we'll lose this time. Feel free to put your predictions down in the comments. I'm so sad. That was a great European night, and it's been absolutely ruined. I hate the world and everything in it. Complete reversal. This time we've dominated. 2 clear-cut chances to their none. We went ahead first. They equalised. We made different substitutions because we didn't get Moutinho sent off. We were fine. Facey got himself sent off for a wild challenge, and then we conceded late and lost. So... fingers crossed the game will crash again. That's all we can really hope for at this point, because what was a glorious situation to be in is now the miserable one that I talked about before the episode started. Real Madrid and I beat Roma, and we're at the halfway point, third in the group rather than first, because beta. Let's go and try and beat Lyon. Right, now I need to try and get myself all excited again for the Lyon game after we lost to Tottenham, even though we beat them and the world is against me and I hate everything. I'm sure our win will cheer me up, but I've made a few changes, more about rotation than anything else, and to try and handle some players who are not in the best of form. So we've dropped Falcao, but Jovetic comes in for him with Belotti moving over to the other side. Tielemans comes in for Moutinho because he got sent off in the first game, even though it didn't happen in this universe. Berger comes in for Facer because he got sent off in the second game, and I've dropped him down to, I mean, it was just a wild challenge and he cost us the match in this new reality. And also Toure comes in for Sidibe, just rotation more than anything else. We only played like 3 days ago. We've been picking up injuries here and there, not so much this season because we've been rotating better, but more last season. What does that mean? Oh, he has the most assists so far this season. Is that what that means? Excellent. That's because he had that 4 in a game that we saw. Was it yesterday or the day before? I forget when that was, but he had a very assisty day. Right, what colour are we playing in? Everyone seems to be playing in the same colour. Am I just being simple, or are we all just playing in Man City shirts? I don't understand what's happening. This might just be the colour on my monitor. You're probably looking at that thinking, no, they're clearly playing in white. I can see that's white down there, but on the pitch, it all looks sky blue. Which is, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a problem for me working out when we've got the ball or not. Luckily, we've got our little names above our heads. So Tielemans is in, squares it for, I mean, it could have been anyone. Apparently, it was one of their players. Didn't know if it was... This is going to make for some really interesting commentary. Is it the colour settings on my monitor? Is it my colour blindness? Is it the game? I'll only find out when you lot tell me all about it. But I don't know. Have we got the ball? Have they got the ball? This is just the icing on the cake now. Right, Ozil intercepts. Berger lumps it forward to Belotti, who's got a little bit of space to run with it, and seems to have had the same problem as me. Wasn't sure if any of those players around him were on our team, so made the safe option and passed it out to Toure on the right, and nothing really came of it. And now they could be in behind, but luckily it's Gemma. I'll stop with the joke now. Just genuine confusion from this point onwards. Right, Tielemans out to Congolo. Can he whip across in? He does. Jovetic can't quite get onto it though, but it falls to Tielemans on the edge of the area, who attempts a shot, but it goes high and wide. Belotti's looking fired up because he's enjoying having a game in his preferred position rather than having to be the deeper of the two strikers. And there he is, he's in and scores. See, he doesn't mind being talked about. He's not like Moutinho. We talk about him and he does something good. Moutinho just likes a little bit of camera time. And, I mean, that was really poor from there. I don't know what their centre-back is thinking there, and just gives Belotti too much time. That's why we should be playing Belotti as the advanced forward, and this might be our new strike partnership, because Falcao has been in awful form. Jovetic, whenever he comes into the team, he doesn't let us down. He was good last season. And Falcao, I'm just really struggling to get a performance out of. I don't know if I'm just using him wrong or if the way we're set up to play doesn't really suit him. But whatever the reason, although he was our top scorer last year, he's really struggling this. And he's our top scorer this year as well, I think, but just not scoring enough goals. He's not scoring goals at a Kev top scorer level. He's like scoring a goal every other game, which I need a lot more than that from my top goal scorer. I want a goal a game. I want Liam Wells and Ruben Iribarren territory. I don't know. There's players from all sorts. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how many of our players fell over there and how many of them were their players. There was just a lot of players fell over in the area. I don't know what's going on in the penalty area there. There's a lot of people on the floor. And then it falls to Memphis, who scores, and it's 1-1. Remember, both us and Lyon unbeaten so far this season, as are Paris Saint-Germain. So if they can come to us and pick up a draw, although it maintains both of our unbeaten records, it's a real massive positive for them, not so much for us, because both of us are going to lose a little bit of ground on Paris Saint-Germain, and we miss out on a win in one of our all-important home games against a rival. And that starts to become a little bit of a problem. Why is there a little green dot next to analysis? Is that because that note is on? Is that always there? I've never noticed that before. Have we really got a Toure on each team as well, just to make it even worse? And it's their left winger and my right back. I mean, the game is just messing with me today. Goodness me. Right, they've got a corner, and luckily it's cleared. I don't even know who cleared it. Belotti's name was highlighted. Don't really know what he was doing back defending a corner. He's supposed to be a striker on an attacking duty. But Congolo plays it to Jovetic, who lumps it forward towards Belotti, somehow controls the ball, but then for the second time there's a weird wayward pass to Toure. It doesn't really get us anywhere. But Ozil's trying to build again, and Belotti's in again and scores again. Belotti is an advanced forward. I mean, you lot have known for days, no doubt. I'm now just figuring it out. If we play Belotti as an advanced forward, he's going to score goals for us. Playing him as a complete forward, he doesn't. And Falcao isn't very good at either of them. Jovetic is quite a good complete forward. I think we've built a strike partnership. What I need to do now is figure out a way to get Lamar into the team, because the other option I was considering, if Falcao continued to disappoint, was Belotti up front on his own with Ozil and Lamar either side of him, because that's certainly an option that we've got to play around with as well. Berger's got loads of space, but instead of shooting, puts it to Fabinho. I think he was caught a little bit by surprise there, but Tielemans, with the chance to cross again, doesn't beat the first man, probably because he thought it was one of our players. I will stop, I promise. And now Lyon trying to build again, and this is a weird highlight at this point. You would have expected it to stop, which suggests they're probably going to score. Are we going to score? We've got the ball back, and it's with Tielemans to Jemison, out to Congolo. We're directly above him now. We must be in some kind of drone or blimp. Belotti beats his man. Jovetic should have scored. He missed an absolute sitter in the game against Tottenham that you didn't see. He's quite creative, but he really can't finish. I think we still need a second striker. We need a striker to go along with Belotti. Belotti's in again, though. Doesn't control it properly, but it doesn't matter. He still gets the shot away, and their keeper didn't deal with it very well at all, and he's quite lucky that it's gone wide. Corner comes in, nothing comes of it. And the more I see Jovetic miss sitters, that's 2 in a row now, the more I'm thinking perhaps Lamar is the man to bring in and try and get in combination as part of this front three. We could go to like a 4-3-3. It does push Ozil out of position, but it puts Lamar in his position for the first time since he's been at the club, because we can actually get him out onto the left wing and see what he can do for us out there, because at the moment he's not really getting a look in at all, other than sporadic appearances from the bench as an attacking midfielder. But we're not going to make that change today. Tielemans, what a pass from Tielemans, and Belotti could have had 4. Tielemans with the corner now, and it falls to Belotti again, who's, big shout for a penalty there, I think. Tielemans and Belotti are both having rather good games. According to this, Tielemans, not so much. He's just so creative, though. I don't understand. What does that man have to do to get a high rating? Right, Jovetic. I said I'm not going to do it in this game, but I'm going to do it in this game. And we're going to try this. If we make him a playmaker out there on attack to try and get him coming into the middle a bit more, Lamar can be there as a winger. Belotti can stay as he is. We'll take off the fairly narrow instruction that we've got and the exploit the middle instruction that we've got, and leave everything else as it is. I probably shouldn't be messing with it when we're in the lead against one of our title rivals, but we don't seem to have another striker who's playing as well as Belotti. So let's give Lamar a try. There you go. There's my justification for that change. If it all goes wrong now, it's my assistant manager's fault, honest. Right, final substitution. We've got Moutinho on the bench, who we could bring on. We've also got Falcao, who we could bring on for Ozil and just go back to our normal formation, because Ozil's not having a very good game at all. That actually probably is what I'm going to do. I'm going to chicken out of this change and just going to go straight back to what we normally do. We did it for 10 minutes. It didn't work. Oh, goodness me. Now no one knows what's happening. At least we're confusing the opposition. No, not a poacher. No, not Falcao. Right, what's going on? Why are the buttons all playing opposite land? Right, I'm clicking the wrong thing, that's why. I've played this game before, honest gov. Right, you do that, you do that. And then what do we have on here? We have exploit the middle, we have fairly narrow, and I didn't take anything else off, did I? I don't think I did. So just go back to normal. And now we'll concede because Falcao is useless. What you will notice is I've put Falcao as a complete forward rather than the advanced forward. So trying them the other way around to what we normally have him to see if that maybe makes a difference. Right, Fabinho crosses, falls to Falcao, who scores. I just needed to swap them round. Who knew? We're top of the league right now. If things stay as they are, we're top of the league. We're 5 points clear of Lyon, level on points with Paris Saint-Germain with a better goal difference, presumably. And Lyon are no longer unbeaten. We just need to keep doing what we're doing. I like the idea of being top of the league as we go past the quarter mark of the season. Are we at the quarter of the season yet? Can't remember how many games we've played. I think this is game 10, maybe. That might have been days ago. I think we're holding on though, and I'm interested to know what's going on in the Paris Saint-Germain game. Presumably they're winning because they're still level on points with us. I think they were level on points with us before. I can look on there to see how many games we played, can't I? 10. Yeah, they are. See? I even know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with this save. I seem to be aware of what's happening. This isn't right. Well, that's cheered me up no end. Who cares about the Champions League? We were never going to win it anyway. But 10 games into the season, we are top of the league. Lyon are no longer unbeaten. And we're above Paris Saint-Germain in alphabetical order, I think, because there's nothing else separating us. Works for me. That's why we've got the AS at the start of our name, I guess. If you've enjoyed today's video, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.